Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go. Hello, Potter Than Hellions, and welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. I'm your host this week, Dylan, and I'm joined by...
Kristine.
She's back by popular demand, here once again at my whim to talk about hard rock and heavy metal. Kristine, how have you been since the last time we've heard you on the podcast?
Super busy. I have a new job, so lots to adjust to, but good.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's a very important job, and you're doing fantastic from what I've heard, so very proud of you and very happy that you're starting to get your wings underneath you and lifting up into the air and soaring.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah. Well, everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Hope you're all doing well. The reason why I'm recording with Kristine is because the Killer Bees and the Podfessor are... Actually, they just got back from the high seas, but they are pretty sunburned from what I've heard.
Yes.
And I'm giving them some time off to recover from the Monsters of Rock cruise. A cruise that I sometimes get jealous of, but then also I don't really want to be on a boat for that long, so...
A little bit of FOMO.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of the bands, and I don't know.
You should probably go once just to go.
But... Maybe. It's expensive, too, so...
That's true.
And the next one's out... Port of Call is coming out of Los Angeles, so that's kind of a pain. You have to take a trip to go to the trip.
Yeah.
And I don't know about that, but maybe. Who knows? Before we get into the crux of the episode, as I like to call it, we have a little bit of news, Kristine.
Do we?
We do. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame out of Cleveland, Ohio, an eminent institution that everybody treats as gospel, has announced their class of 2026.
Oh.
So previously they had announced a short list of people that were nominees to enter the class, and they decided to nominate in or induct in 18 different groups, and you'll recognize some of them. Phil Collins.
Okay.
Billy Idol.
Okay. We've been watching so much Survivor that I thought you were going to say Billie Eilish.
No, not Billie Eilish. Not the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol. Nope. Iron Maiden.
Okay,
this is the first time that they've been they've been nominated I think twice before, and this is them finally getting in. They said that they probably wouldn't attend the induction ceremony because of how long it's taken for them to get inducted in. Joy Division / New Order, which is a pretty good band from the early 80s. They're good. Oasis, the Gallaghers.
Of course.
Sade, Luther Vandross, and the Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay. All
prominent rock musicians. They had a couple people for the Early Influence Award. Celia Cruz, Fela Kuti. I don't know either of those two, but I know Queen Latifah, MC Light, and Graham Parsons.
Does Queen Latifah have a music career?
She does. Oh yeah, she was a prominent rapper before she was an actor.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, she actually I think she got into acting through the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode that she was on, and then she kind of went from there. But yeah, she was a really big R&B rap musician before she became an actor. And then there was the Musical Excellence Award for Linda Creed, R.F. Martin, Jimmy Miller, and Rick Rubin, and then the Ahmet Ertegun Award for Ed Sullivan, who was a talk show host, of course, had the Beatles on for the first time in America. Now, what do you think of some of these nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What is that? What kind of jumps out at you?
It seems like a very mixed bag.
Yes.
It does seem to be like they're reaching pretty far back. It seems like Iron Maiden might not be the only nominee who has probably been waiting for a while.
Yeah.
I don't recognize a lot of these names, so I don't feel equipped to speak to a lot of it, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a very controversial institution because a lot of the nominees are what most people would not consider rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
Wu-Tang Clan, very much a rap group, not rock music. Or roll. Rock and or roll. And a lot of people kind of wish it was the Music Hall of Fame. It was called the Music Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Which absolutely all these people deserve to be in the Music Hall of Fame. I don't know if everybody on this list deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. A lot of people call it the Crock and Bull Hall of Shame.
Oh, I've heard you say that before.
Yeah. But, it's cool that all these people are getting nominated. Usually there's some really cool performances that come out of it during the induction ceremony. Mm-hmm. Like when, I think it was George Harrison got inducted solo, because he was inducted with the Beatles and he was also inducted solo. There was a really all-star version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps with like Tom Petty and Prince, who did one of the coolest guitar solos ever. It's a showstopper every time. But yeah, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, definitely a mixed bag. And I am happy Iron Maiden finally made it in, because they've been going since 1980.
Yeah. And
they've been eligible for a very long time. Some musicians get in first time they're eligible. Some musicians wait a really long time. And the main thing that they say gets someone in is influence, and I believe Iron Maiden has had a lot of influence over the years. Phil Collins for sure as well, and Billy Idol. Wu-Tang Clan, absolutely. I mean, everybody and their mother kind of cites Wu-Tang as a star that they had in their constellations when they're talking about music that they grew up listening to or inspired them. So, I mean, you see Wu-Tang Clan shirts all over the place. They've kind of just ascended above music and become kind of a brand almost. I think also they released one of their albums and they put it up for auction, and they gave the person kind of the rights to the music, and they said, oh, you could either put this out for free or keep it for yourself. Person kept it for themselves.
Oh, wow.
I think it was like a pharmaceutical person. Yeah, it was pretty crappy. But, it is what it is. So that's kind of the news that I had for this week. We like to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and there's a lot of grumbling from my fellow podcasters about it. So I wanted to get your view on it from the outside and hear what you thought. So before we get into your main part, the main course of the episode, what have you been listening to, Kristine?
So, I will say my new job has me kind of coming and going. Like, I'm running around like crazy, so I haven't had a ton of time to listen to stuff as much as I used to throughout the day, like while I was working. So it's mostly just been audiobooks in the car. Mm-hmm. And when I do have some time to sit and just kind of have a chiller moment, I'll just put on my usuals in the background. So Noah Kahan, Casey Musgraves, Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Casey Musgraves coming out with an album soon.
Yeah.
You excited about that?
Yep. I have a signed vinyl coming.
Yeah.
So very exciting.
Yes. Casey Musgraves, very good concert. We got to see her at Bryce Jordan Center. Very emotional concert, I think, for both of us.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was and one of the easiest places getting out of.
It was, actually, surprisingly. They ran a tight ship there for sure. Mm-hmm. I famously cried the entire concert. So,
yeah.
Hopefully this new album mean as much to me as Deeper Well did.
Yeah, who knows? It might be a grower. It might be one that hits you right away. It might be one you hate. Never know.
You never know.
Well, I've been listening to a band called Spirit World, and they had 2 albums that they released. One was called Death Western, and the other one's called Hell Dorado. And it's very much Western-inspired influences, but with metal, screamo added in, a little bit of thrash.
Interesting.
But there's also some songs that are legit just like campfire acoustic guitar songs that they have on Hell Dorado. So they run the gamut in terms of being super heavy and also being old school Western. The skies are all cloudy all day, home on the range type stuff. So very interesting listen. So that's what we've got going. Some Noah Kahan, some Casey Musgraves for Kristine, and I've got some Spirit World with Death Western and Hell Dorado. So for this week's episode, I asked Kristine to come on again to talk about hard rock and heavy metal. Initially, I was, toying around with the idea of showing you music videos from hard rock and heavy metal, but I figured that might not go as well because there is some pretty datedness in some of them that I don't think you would appreciate. Okay. And I'm also not as well versed in music videos as, say, my dad or the Killer Bees are.
Well, and here's the thing, potentially a hot take, but definitely something about me that I don't think a lot of people have in common, which is I don't actually like music videos that much.
Okay, yeah.
It's not that I don't like them, it's just like I feel nothing about them.
Yeah.
I don't seek them out, even for my favorite artists. Mm-hmm. You know, I kind of just don't engage with them in that way, and maybe there's a day that's coming that I will be obsessed with them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not a huge music video person, and I think it's also maybe not the best format to discuss a music video.
Yeah. An audio podcast? You don't think that's the best format to discuss a visual medium? No, but I agree. I think when we were growing up, MTV was kind of phasing into the more reality television aspect of things, and they weren't really showing music videos as much. Or when they were showing stuff that we weren't really interested in growing up. A lot of hip-hop music videos coming out at that point, and, you know, I agree with you. I think the music video tends to distract me from the music itself, and I want to experience the music, and maybe the video comes second, but yeah, I think we just kind of grew up in a world where music videos were secondary, whereas the other hosts of the podcast, MTV, was kind of a really big thing, and a lot of times how a song debuted for them was they would see the music video on VH1 or MTV. So I decided instead to make this kind of a Q&A, a Reddit AMA, if you will, an Ask Me Anything if anybody is not up on Reddit lingo, where I had Kristine come up with some questions for me about hard rock, heavy metal, my preferences for those, just anything that she maybe had inklings of in her mind to ask me, and see what answers I could give her. So currently our cat is also going to be participating, so if you hear some shuffling, that is just Karma, our cat.
She was standing directly in front of the mic for that past minute.
She has things that she wants to say, and she's going to say them, by God. Okay, Kristine, so I'm going to turn the microphone over to you. Ask away. What do you got?
Okay, so a few days ago you had told me that you and your coworkers were like playing this game, excuse me, where you had to kind of fill out a survey with like your thoughts on like overrated albums, underrated albums, like albums that like pep you up, and comfort albums and stuff like that. So I thought we could talk about some of those. Okay. But my first question was, what is a band that you think that should be getting more recognition or should be like bigger on the scene right now?
That is a good question. The band that comes to mind instantly, and it's a band that I talk about quite a bit on this podcast, is Ice Nine Kills. And I've showed you a little bit of Ice Nine Kills, but just in case you don't remember, because I show you a lot of things, so I can understand, that going out. They are a kind of hardcore band that recently, in their last 2-3 albums, have started doing, I guess, crossover metal, I would say, where the first album they had with this was Every Trick in the Book, where each song was based off a different horror book. So, Dracula, I think the Shining was there. And then the next album they did, The Silver Scream, where each one was based off a different movie. And then they did the sequel to that, Welcome to Horrorwood, The Silver Scream 2. And each song had the vibe and references to different movies. And it was really well done, where you really do get a sense of their fandom for the movie. Like, there's one called The Shower Scene, and I'm sure you know exactly what movie that is, Psycho. And just having those references in there without it being over the top, and just having like the strings appear in the music, but not it being like outright, it's just kind of in the background. And there's a Jaws one where the they have the in 10 minutes will be shark food, and Smile You Son of a Bitch. There's like little references like that throughout it, and they're so talented, and they're starting to get recognition in the horror world for sure, because they've been asked to do official tie-in songs for the Terrifier franchise, and Scream. They recently did a song for the new Scream movie with one of the stars of the movie, McKenna Grace. And I'm just really thinking that they should be super big. Like, they've opened for Metallica, so they're in, like, opening bands for bigger bands scenario. But I think a lot of people should be giving them more recognition because they're so talented and so fun to watch.
That does sound really fun.
Yeah.
As a Taylor Swift fan, we love our Easter eggs. So
yes.
That is really fun.
Lots of Easter eggs in these movies. It's so good. I can listen to those albums over and over and hear something new to them. And Ice Nine Kills, I think, is my answer to that.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Steve Harvey.
So this is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, which is a band that everyone loves, maybe a band on like the pod that everybody loves, that you just can't, you're just not feeling.
Yeah, really easy answer for that one too. The band Whitesnake. I do not like Whitesnake whatsoever. Everybody loves Whitesnake. Whitesnake is kind of a band that has a lot of clout and legacy. Mm-hmm. They've been going since the late 70s, I think. They have a lot of members from Deep Purple, who, of course, are kind of rock royalty. And I don't like their songs. You definitely have heard them before. They did Here I Go Again on My Own. That's Whitesnake. Yeah. Hate that song. I don't like their lyrics. I think the music's fine, but there's so many other artists that I would go to before Whitesnake, and I think they're just overrated, and I hate them.
Okay. So okay, so we'll make you feel a little bit better. So I'm curious to know what your answer was for, like, a comfort album.
A comfort album.
Like, in this genre, I guess.
Comfort album in this genre. That's a good question. There's a couple of them that I think come to mind. The debut Kiss record is one that always jumps out at me. We listened to that on the way to Robas the one time. Mm-hmm. And I know kind of every part of the album, so it's easy for me to kind of sing along with and go into pretty quickly. I think Highway to Hell from AC/DC is another one that I really, really love. Mm-hmm. A lot of iconic songs on there. My favorite AC/DC song, Beating Around the Bush, is on there. Let me think of another one that is kind of off the beaten path. Yeah, Among the Living from Anthrax, I would say also. Which, it's funny that's a comfort album because the first song is about the stand, and like that's like a mass virus taking out the United States. But and then there's a song based off of Apt Pupil from Stephen King, so it's not like a happy album, but it's one where I just love rocking out to it. And and we heard Cotton Mosh on the one episode where Talking to You is like clapping with one hand.
Oh yeah.
So it's a fun album, really great album in terms of rocking out. So those are kind of my comfort albums in the genre.
So that kind of ties into one of my questions, which is like, I'm just curious because I know that you have so many varied interests, even like especially in the music sphere, mm-hmm. where you'll listen to like just about any genre.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, when it comes to the music that you cover on the podcast, like what version of yourself are you when you are listening to hard rock and heavy metal, or like when you seek it out specifically? Like, mm-hmm. for instance, like I've been thinking about it because, like I said, it's a really kind of stressful chapter for me right now, like trying to adjust to this new job, and so I've been reverting back to like my comfort albums, mm-hmm. and like I just relax right into them. I'm pretty sure that the one Casey Musgraves album, I've noticed on my Fitbit, it quite literally lowers my heart rate. And I'm just wondering, because we have such different taste when it comes to like our comfort media or comfort music, or mm-hmm. music that pumps us up. I mean, we have a lot in common too, but I just know that you wear a lot of different hats when it comes to music, and so I'm curious, like, what version, like, does it make you nostalgic? Like, do you like it because it pumps you up? Do you like it because it makes you joyful? Or is it like sometimes all three, or something else?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what I go to most with hard rock and heavy metal, I think I always call it my like zombie stomping music at times. So I think getting pumped up is probably the main driver, where I'm always looking for a really good riff and a really good beat, like a really driving song. I love thrash metal for that reason, because there's a lot of awesome time changes and riffs, and vocals and lyrics kind of come second for me in hard rock and heavy metal. There is some nostalgia for sure, like you said, where I grew up listening to the likes of Kiss, the likes of Metallica, the likes of AC/DC, and there's the connection with my dad that I have because of that, where, you know, I always have kind of a soft space in my heart for this kind of music because of my dad. But I think when I find the albums that I enjoy the most on this podcast, it's when there's a really just jamming out session between the musicians where everybody's kind of flowing together. There might be the kind of instance that I think of when I think of this is on the song Rats by Ghost, where there's the dun 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 dun, and it starts with kind of the organ, but then the guitar comes in with that riff and the band is just jamming together, and you kind of just picture them on stage, you know, rocking out together, and it just makes me want to also rock out with them. So I think it's an energy level. I don't like ballads as much in this genre because I think it's because it's not what I go to this genre for.
Yeah. Well, that was another one of my questions. So, as you know, and this is, again, something about me that I think is not something certainly that your listeners share in common, but I tend to get very overwhelmed at live music events. I don't love them. The Casey Musgraves one, I debated even going to because I know how I get it at live shows. Super glad that we went, but they're not something that I am drawn to all the time. When I go, I'm always glad that I've gone, but I'm curious what a live show experience in this genre is like for you, and if you think that most of the fan base gets the same thing out of the music that you do or goes to the music for the same reasons you do. Like, for instance, I've heard it described like Sabrina Carpenter's most recent tour, both the visuals but also like the vibe and the energy level has been described as like a sleepover in your like a teenage sleepover.
Yeah.
And like the Taylor Swift shows that we've gone to, the Eras tour was kind of just like celebrating girlhood. And I'm just curious what the vibe is like and how you would differentiate it from, because you go to so many shows. So I want to peer into that through you.
That's a great question. I think it depends. It depends on the artist. If I'm going to a metal show, it's very much rocking out with everybody. You know, it's kind of, for instance, the Iron Maiden show that we went to in Philadelphia. It was at the Wells Fargo Center. And we met one of our podcasting friends, Brad Rustoven, for the first time there. Or at least I met him in person for the first time there. And we were singing along to Maiden together, just rocking out, you know, close to the stage, just kind of looking at each other, like with parts that we know are going to come in. And just having a good time syncing up with that and feeling the energy of the band. And I really love that with metal. Then there's a band like Kansas, who's a much older crowd, or a Joe Bonamassa, where 90% of the show everybody's sitting. And for that, I kind of enjoy the musicianship of it, where I can just, my brain shuts off and I'm just allowed to kind of absorb the epicness of their playing. If it, you know, Dream Theater is one that I think is another one that is really just one that your brain short circuits watching them, and you don't necessarily know all the words to all the songs, but you're just letting it wash over you. Because I feel a lot of social anxiety with concerts just because of my regular anxiety, where I'm always like, during this one song that I don't know the words to, the singer's going to make eye contact with me and see that I don't know it, and it's going to ruin everything. And it's such a silly thing to be concerned about, right?
No, trust me. That's I mean, not that exact reason, but yeah, the anxiety gets to me
Yeah.
at live events for sure.
And that was why I was really excited when we had to wear masks at venues, because I could just enjoy the concert without having to worry about the singer seeing
Yeah.
I didn't know the words. But I think that just rocking out is what I love most at concerts.
Yeah.
I'm not headbanging because I learned very quickly that my neck cannot take that as much.
Well, sure.
But I am doing the, nodding the head, fist up. My hands might be in my pocket. I'll be like jamming on my leg, but it's just the energy that I think I go to the concerts for.
It's interesting because I keep coming back to the Casey Musgraves concert, but it was such a specific experience for me, and I didn't expect it. Versus, and this show was years and years and years ago for us, but the Paramore concert that we went to, that was the epitome of like an energetic concert experience. It was so much fun. It was so celebratory. So they're two vastly different experiences, because for Casey, we sat the whole time. So did most people, unless they were in the pit. But I literally cried like almost the whole concert. It was so emotional for me, and like those two experiences alone, never mind the Eras tour, which is its own, that's a different animal. But I was just curious, like between bands and between event sizes, like you go to events of all different sizes, like if it's a similar vibe. Because as somebody who doesn't go to a ton of shows, I've had vastly different experiences, so I can only imagine what you guys experience.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because there are moments in the standing shows where you really want to sit down, and those are when the solos happen. And I'm not talking solo in the middle of a song. I'm talking only guy on stage, actual dictionary definition of solo, where the drummer is just gonna do his thing, the other guys are gonna walk backstage, get a drink. And I don't like that part of a concert. And I think for the majority of the audience that is the case as well. And yeah, so that part of the concert I don't necessarily go to, but I find it interesting when you were talking about getting emotional with Casey Musgraves. That does happen at these shows as well, where I'll look over, my dad will be kind of getting like choked up about Kiss, because we saw the End of the Road tour. Of course, I saw it with him like a year before the actual end of their touring career. But it's that instance of like, wow, I've experienced this band throughout my whole life, and this might be the last time I see them. And just like thinking about how many times you've heard this song or that song, and you kind of know their shtick by heart at this point. But it becomes kind of an endearing thing of, oh, this is where Gene Simmons is going to breathe fire. This is where Paul's going to fly out into the audience holding a pole as he goes onto the second stage. This is where, Tommy Thayer, the replacement guitarist for Ace, is going to have smoke coming out of his guitar and fireworks shooting off. So, yeah, there is like the emotion in even these hard rocking shows as well. And it's just cool that even in kind of genres that aren't necessarily emotive in their songwriting, that it still can happen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's a good segue into one of my questions, which is, and I know you're gonna have a tough time answering this, but I'll give you two or three. You can say two or three options.
Okay.
And I know what I think your answer is going to be based on which shows that you've talked about the most, but if you had to pick two or three of like the best live experiences you've ever had, what would you say that they were?
First one that always comes to mind for me is Foo Fighters at Citi Field.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. That
was such a magical experience because I wasn't expecting to actually be able to go. It was kind of one of those on a whim things. Jen Roberts-Faina, who we both know very well, grew up, of course, her daughter being in our class. So, and you went on trips with her. And
correct.
So she was talking about how, we're going to go see Foo Fighters. And my dad's like, you mind if we come along? And she's like, yeah, sure. And it was on the Sonic Highways tour, which was their album where they went to big cities in the United States and they would record a song at each city and kind of include people from the city in the songwriting process, like reference things from the city, kind of the music that came in through the cities. And basically a celebration of music in a way. And they were having a little known band at the time, Royal Blood, open for them. And I knew Royal Blood, having been a DJ on my college radio station who did alternative rock, and they were kind of in the rotation for it. So I knew them, and I was really excited about them because they're a duo of bass and drums, and you don't hear that often. And they just kicked ass, and I was really excited to have my dad and our friends see that. And Citi Field, it's right outside of New York City, basically, kind of on the outskirts. And we went there, and our seats were literally general admission on the field, in the outfield. And the shirts were $20. And they were, like, shirts that were bespoke to the concert. So it was like a Mets jersey that had, the Foo Fighters kind of tour stuff on it. And it was also the tour that Dave Grohl broke his leg. So there was the Break a Leg tour, shirts, and he was on his guitar throne. But yeah, the concert was so good. Royal Blood kicked ass. I got everybody into Royal Blood because they were so good. And Foo Fighters were just amazing. I'm so happy I got to see Taylor Hawkins. And they did a cool thing when they were introducing each of the band members where they would play a snippet of different songs. So they would play like Detroit Rock City from Kiss when they introduced, Pat Smear on guitar. They played School's Out from Alice Cooper, Pat Smear.
Okay, I thought you said something else.
Yeah, no, my dad always makes fun of that. But he was actually one of the members of Nirvana with Dave Grohl, and that's how he got in with Foo Fighters. But they did a cover Breakdown by Tom Petty, which was really good. And they brought in members of the iconic punk band The Bad Brains to play a couple songs. And it was a really cool experience. The ride home was not fun. That was it took us like 4 hours to get out of New York City because we took a wrong turn.
Okay.
But that was not great. But the concert itself was amazing. So that's definitely my number one. I really loved Paramore and Fall Out Boy when we saw them.
That was a great show. It's very memorable even 10 plus years later.
Yeah. Haley Williams, still one of the best front people I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
Amazing energy and the vocal chops to go along with it.
Yeah.
Just, they should have closed the show because Fall Out Boy was pretty tame compared to them. I still liked Fall Out Boy, but there was a cool dueling drum part during the concert between Patrick Stump and Andy Hurley. I don't know if you remember that, but they basically they had a drum off against each other, and that was really fun. Let me think. I think I could say kind of an infamous show that I've talked about on the podcast. I don't know if I've talked about it with you. A show called Guitar Gods, and it was at the Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
And it was kind of touted as the like another version of this one tour that was kind of always in our forefront to see, called G3, where it was 3 guitar players that would kind of do each their individual set, and then they would come together and play covers together. So it was kind of a showcase for amazing guitar playing. And the show opened up with like a country group, and that was weird. And then Gary Hoey played, and he was great. He's kind of a blues guitarist, really good stuff. Then Bumblefoot, the guitarist's name is, they were having technical difficulties, so they were doing some sound check, and they were doing Maiden as like their sound check songs. But then they started playing, and they were fun. And then Yngwie Malmsteen came on. His name is spelled Y-N-G-W-I-E. He is from Sweden, and he is kind of like a classical metal guitarist. So like he'll basically like play concerto type stuff, like on piano but on guitar. And when I tell you that every single song he spent 5 minutes changing his guitar out, that might be an understatement.
What, like tuning it? Or
yeah, you would think tuning it, but he had other guitars backstage, so he would just be changing it out. And the poor bassist was having to be like, yeah, let's hear it for the maestro.
Oh my god.
Anybody read his book? Vamping for time. And we're waiting because we're like, oh, well, at some point in this concert, the other guitarists are going to come out and jam out with him. And just to kind of tell you the ego of this guy, you know how in a band, the stage setup, you have the drums kind of in the back, and then, guitarist, bass on either side, singer in the middle? The stage was 3/4 of the stage were Marshall guitar amps. 1/4 was drums, bass, second guitarist. Over here, Yngwie had the 3/4, just him.
Christ.
And he would spend 6 minutes on a song just soloing. And it gets mind-numbing at times.
Sure.
And finally the guitarists did come out, and they played, I think it was Highway Star from Deep Purple, which is a great song. They were in the 1/4 with the rest of the band. So they were everyone was kind of cramped on that side of the stage. And then they went off, and they played for another hour and a half. And we could just see the people around us leaving, just as the set was going. And we're like, oh my God, this is awful. They're going to come back out, right? And they did not. And it was It was a horrible. It was a fun time talking afterwards, very much like our Shatner visit.
Oh God!
But
it's a story for another day.
Yeah, it was not a good concert experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that is a really funny story, but
it is for sure. Okay. We always do the when we're talking about Yngwie.
What's he up to these days?
Yngwie? Yeah. He's still going. He's still puttering around. He was at M3 one year, and he was doing the same shit where he was just spending hours on, not hours, but he only had a 30-minute set, but he was spending so long doing his soloing stuff, and I'm like, you could fit another 4 or 5 songs in here, bud.
Yeah.
We know you could play.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Yeah.
But
wow.
At one point, is it just,
Oh, bless him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my next question was going to be, and I don't think Yngwie's going to make the list, but if you could pick, it's the classic, if you could pick 3 to 5 musicians, living or dead, to come to dinner with you.
Okay, dinner, yeah. I know, Yngwie, probably not, because he's also a very low-key speaker, so he kind of, talks a little like this, because I don't think English is his first language, so, there is that barrier, but I mean, besides that, I feel like he has such an ego that it wouldn't be fun to talk with.
No.
I think Dave Grohl comes to mind. He seems like a very chill person.
Yeah. Somebody
that would be really fun to kind of hang out with, hear stories, and just a good vibe bringing to the party.
I could see that.
I could say the rest of the Foo Fighters. No. I also think Alex Lifeson from Rush is a very affable person that I think would bring a lot to a dinner party. Maybe I should bring somebody in percussion or bass, just to
hey, it's your party.
I don't want to bring too many singers because they usually have pretty big egos. Not Gene Simmons. Gene actually might be cool, but I don't know.
Living or dead, remember?
Yeah, living or dead. I mean, I feel like I always say David Bowie whenever I talk about dead musicians because
for sure
Bowie is. But I feel like I would be very intimidated.
Yeah.
With a Bowie or a Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Where
I can see it.
It the evening would revolve around them, and I don't think they would appreciate that. So I get very in my head when thinking about this kind of thing of who would like to be at a dinner.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Trying to think of who else. Maybe a Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater might be good. Scott Ian from Anthrax. He seems like a really cool guy from the Bronx, and he's married to Meatloaf's daughter, Pearl. So has some Meatloaf stories, perhaps.
Any women at the party?
Yeah. Sure.
Meatloaf's daughter.
Yeah, Meatloaf's daughter, Pearl. I just said it. Yeah. No, I think Lita Ford would be really cool to bring in.
Okay.
She was a member of the Runaways, and she had a very successful solo career after. I also think... why am I blanking? Nita Strauss would be really cool. She's Alice Cooper's guitarist, and she is probably my favorite guitarist from him. And I've seen him 9 times because she gels so well with the band. But she also seems really down to earth and really cool. So I think she would be really cool. Lizzie Hale, we could talk about Pennsylvania together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think she's from the Reading area.
What are you serving at this dinner?
Probably like maybe hit the buffet.
Okay.
So everybody can kind of get what they want. And it would just be a kind of a potluck,
Okay.
situation.
Oh, that would be interesting because then you would get to ask them why they brought certain things. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get you.
It's like what are they? Do they want to contribute positively to this meal? Do they get something from the store? Did they make it with love?
It says a lot about somebody what you bring to a potluck.
It does.
Okay. All right. So I also wanted to ask you, because you've been doing this for a long time, some questions about like the podcast or just like things that you've learned through it. So I would say I'm curious to know what are some of like the best recommendations you've gotten on the pod, but also if anybody has managed to change your mind about any musician or band in the past.
Yeah, those are some good questions. I think in terms of recommendations, like a band that I kind of got from the podcast, Dirty Honey pops up. They're very good kind of rock and roll. They got a tinge of Southern vibe to them, but just their riffage is so amazing and so catchy, and they have really great kind of catchy choruses, and the soloing is just phenomenal. So I think they're a band that I really appreciated getting recommended through the podcast.
Do you remember whose rec they were?
I don't remember. But whoever it was, thank you. Very appreciative. A band that I changed my mind on from the podcast.
If they have, if anybody's
No, there definitely has. There definitely has been. I think I have more of an appreciation, and I'm sure BC's going to be excited about this, for Lizzie Borden. A band that BC holds near and dear to his heart. He appeared in one of the Lizzie Borden music videos, flew to Vegas to appear in it. That's like his...
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's his kind of shining example of a band. They are a band that never really entered my field of vision, I'll say, until the podcast, and I really ended up enjoying them. We saw them at M3, and my God, the man, he's very much a stage show, theatrical experience, and the costume changes he was doing within the 30-minute time slot, very impressive. Does some really cool cover of Pet Sematary by the Ramones, which is based off of the Stephen King book.
There's so much Stephen King in this
Stephen
universe.
King is very...
Do you think he's a fan of hard rock and heavy
He
metal?
is.
Okay.
He is a fan of rock. He has a lot of epigraphs in his books that are music lyrics.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's very much a symbiotic relationship.
That's a great cross-section for you,
It
specifically.
is. Absolutely, yeah. No, that's why I love Ice and I Kill so much, because it's horror and rock right there in the thick of it. But, yeah, I think Lizzie Borden's a good one to bring up like that. I have more of an appreciation for Megadeth, I think. I mean, I really like Megadeth quite a bit, but I think just like listening to a lot of their other stuff through the albums kind of put them a little higher in my rankings in terms of the what they call the big four of thrash metal, which is Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, and Slayer. I think those are the ones that come to mind right away for that answer. There's probably some big ones, but you know how it is when you're under the gun. And
yeah, I did not give Dylan the opportunity to review these questions beforehand, so this is all off the cuff.
Yeah. If anything comes to me, I'll pop it up. But for right now, I think those will be my answers.
Okay.
Hey, Potter Than Hellions, future Dylan here. I wanted to break up the episode a little bit with a hidden gem song. So, in honor of Kristine asking me all of these fantastic questions, and pretty soon the tables will be turned and I'll be asking her some questions, I wanted to put out a song that I think has one of the best lyrics that I've heard from a thrash band ever, from their best album of all time. Of course, the lyrics are, not only do I not know the answer, I don't even know what the question is. The song in question is My World from Metallica's Saint Anger album. So enjoy some Metallica Saint Anger, and then we'll get back to the questions.
Okay, so my last question is, we actually talked about this before. I think it was at your Graham's 80th birthday dinner.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And Bob famously. Okay, so I think the question was, if you could go back in time and experience like anything you want in history at all, what would you pick? And I know you said a David Bowie concert.
Yeah.
And Dylan's grandfather immediately was like, do you want to do an impression of him where he's like,
Jesus Christ, you could have picked Eddie. You could have saw the Pilgrims lighting the Mayflower plug the rock. You could have saw,
Well, because you picked something like from his lifetime. So he's like, that's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, this is Bob, who I love very much, who stumbled upon Woodstock when it was happening and like was wondering why all these hippies were just wandering around and
oh my god.
So,
So, but my question, if you wanted a chance to re-answer this question without the backlash, my question was, if you could go back in time and attend, like, and I'm not going to force you to pick one.
Yeah.
Like, you can answer a couple different ones, but, like, which shows would you have liked to see? Because I know for me, when I was growing up, I know that shows were a big thing in your family. I don't know. I guess when I was a teenager, it just never occurred to me to try to get concert tickets, but I wish that I would have tried or been more interested in seeing Taylor Swift earlier in her career. Unfortunately, Eras was the first time I ever saw a show of hers. I don't know, live music just was never on my radar.
Well, at least she gave you a good cross-section of her career.
Well, yes, I did. I do feel like that made up for some time, but yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about, so.
Yeah, I have a couple of concerts that come to mind. I definitely would have loved to have seen My Chemical Romance on the Black Parade tour. That would have been amazing. Thankfully, they did record it for The Black Parade is Dead. They recorded the show in Mexico City, and a very cool show. The crowd's nuts. The crowd in, Mexico and then Central and South Americas are
They're
gonzo.
crazy, yeah.
Especially for hard rock and heavy metal. I think seeing Queen do Live Aid would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they only did a couple songs, but I still think those songs would have been just like, wow, amazing to see live. I mean, Bowie on the Spiders from Mars tour would have been really cool. I also heard that the Glass Spider tour was really awesome in the early 90s, I think it is. Just to see that would be really cool. I would have loved to have seen AC/DC in the bars with Bon Scott. Bon Scott, really fantastic frontman for them, passed away in 1980, I believe.
Okay.
And Brian Johnson has been their lead singer since then. And I just always really like Bon Scott's presence a little more than Brian Johnson's. I mean, Brian Johnson's the one that we knew mostly because those songs were all over the, Shook Me All Night Long and Thunderstruck and Back in Black. So, yeah, those, maybe Metallica at the Monsters of Rock tour in Donington, back when they did like a show and not like out at sea.
Out at sea.
And Metallica actually with their original bassist Cliff Burton before he passed away too, because he died in a bus accident when they hit black ice. Yeah. Same thing with Ozzy with Randy Rhoads.
Okay.
That would be really cool to see. I am really happy that I saw Ozzy though.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have seen Dio.
Okay.
Ronnie James Dio, because I didn't get to see him because he performed with Black Sabbath under Heaven and Hell, like his version of Black Sabbath in the late aughts, but I wasn't involved in the process for the shows for that. I think it was I don't know, it just didn't work out where I was able to go, but I think those are my main answers, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots to pick from, so lots to choose from. So the answers that means they're like cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So that's it. as far as questions that I have for you, if I'm on again, maybe I can. I know I asked a lot about your preferences, but I also I want to ask more questions about like your time on the pod, because it's been a while, like 5 years.
It's been, I think, 8 years at
Has
this
it
point.
been 8?
Yeah, I think we started 2018.
No way! Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I need to think about that for a future episode, but that's all I have for now. So if you want to ask me anything,
Yes.
before we wrap.
Yes. So you were able to listen to some of the hard rock and heavy metal music that I threw at you for the podcast. Is there anything in terms of hard rock and heavy metal that you can appreciate that maybe isn't always as prevalent in the kind of music that you listen to?
So I know that a lot of what I connected with, like I think back to our episode where we talked about Iron Maiden, that was something that surprised me, that I connected with, because it was something I didn't expect to find in this genre.
Yeah.
I don't think that fulfills this question. I will say, I know that I've spoken about this before, but I appreciate, I don't want to say negative space, because that implies that like there's nothing going on, but pop songs are so short and so to the point, I think, when they're good. So I can appreciate the songs in this genre that aren't afraid to take their time and really focus on the instrumentals, because that doesn't happen a lot. And even when I'm not doing my singer-songwriter stuff, if I'm like listening to a lot of the stuff that I listened to when we were teenagers, so like Paramore, like alt rock, I guess, those instrumentals are really strong too, but they don't take their time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a Paramore song is really punchy, and you can appreciate it, but you're not like it's not languid. You know, you're not getting a huge vocal break just to listen to a riff. And that happens. I mean, that's like bread and butter for this genre. So, because I'm such a lyrics person, I don't get that a lot, and I don't focus on that a lot. So when you do show me stuff, I try to pick up on those moments.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is there any kind of hard rock or heavy metal song that you maybe remember from your childhood, or just like kind of listening, you know, just in the wild, that you always focused in on and kind of made you curious to maybe hear more, or got your interest piqued with? I mean, the thing that I could think of as an example, Enter Sandman. Obviously, you being a very big Yankees fan back in the day, Mariano Rivera having it as his walkout song, you know, something like that.
Yeah, that's a great pick, and I think I don't want to just steal that answer or piggyback off of it, but it's tough, because when I was growing up with my dad, I know you guys had hard rock and heavy metal. My dad always has been like more of a soft rock guy.
Yeah, like a yacht rock.
Yeah, that's his preferred serious channel. So for us, it was like the Eagles and stuff like that. I mean, he did listen to Meatloaf. Does that count?
I wouldn't say Meatloaf is hard rock.
We just talked about Meatloaf.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the album cover, metal as hell.
Exactly.
The Bad Out of Hell album cover, one of the most metal album covers.
I only know a couple of their songs anyway. But yeah, Enter Sandman is a great choice. I will say, I feel like AC/DC was really like radio prevalent, or just maybe in a lot of media.
Oh yeah,
when we were growing up. So, but also like the Kiss visuals. It's so theatrical that I think I was always kind of curious about like what those characters were, and like what's going on there. Because, you know, you and I have a lot in common. We're drawn to that kind of like theatrical, performative art. So I think that was something I was always curious about. But like, you know, when you're not into something, you have no idea where to begin. It's like overwhelming.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It was something that like I was curious about, but I never really like sought out. So I'm glad we get the chance to talk about it, because I still don't feel like I fully understand a lot of the culture of this genre, but I'm still intrigued by it, like a lot of the iconography and performativity and
Well, and it's crazy because I think that a lot of times when you look at hard rock and heavy metal, it's so hard to like from the outside not see it as a monolith, but there's so many like niche ins that you can go in.
Yeah.
Like for instance, Alice Cooper, like a shock rock, where the stage show is kind of part of the experience, where he was very good friends with Salvatore Dali, and basically like would guillotine himself on stage, like and like like do all these crazy inventive ways of violence and blood and things like that would shock the audience. And Kiss kind of took that in a different route and did kind of a superhero-esque take on it. But the audiences, I would say, between Alice Cooper and Kiss, of course, there's the Venn diagram. There's going to be in the middle, but very different types of rockers. And then you have thrash people that are completely different from that, where they're in the mosh pit. You're not going to see a mosh pit at a Kiss show because it's very much more family friendly nowadays. Like they're selling comic books and things like that.
It's so interesting. There's just a lot to think about with that. We should do an episode about that.
Yeah, I'll have to. I could show you kind of different stage shows, maybe.
Yeah.
Where seeing kind of how the audience interacts, and seeing like what you vibe with the most. I think that'd be a very interesting episode.
Okay. Put a pin in that.
Yeah. So another question that I have is, if you had to hear, of course, we grew up. Pop Goes Punk.
Yes.
Very, very prevalent in our high school years, where preeminent punk or hardcore bands would cover pop songs from the era. If you had to hear one song of yours that you really love, turned into a hard rock or heavy metal song, what would you like to hear a version of?
Oh boy.
Guarantee I probably could find a version for you on YouTube of it, but there's a lot of really good artists out there that do like metal covers of songs like that.
That's a great question, and I think I'm gonna just pull up my phone really quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I immediately thought of was like that storytelling. I think it was my first episode we recorded when you had me do the A through Z kind of thing. It was when I really hit it off with Iron Maiden a bit, and I was impressed with their storytelling talent. But so that leads me to Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department album, because I feel like that is such a rich text, and I'm trying to find a song that I think would do really well. I feel like Who's Afraid of Little Old Me has some potential. She's already kind of got the energy of what I tend to consider like a heavy metal attitude, which is kind of that, and I know I'm like generalizing, but in my mind it's like that kind of defiant nature that comes up in a lot of the songs. I think if I had to critique that album, which I love so much and like it's so close to being perfect, I wish that she used more drums, and I just wish that the production went harder. It's it's like 32 songs, so I wish that she just took the opportunity to really beef up those instrumentals. And I think that's one that could benefit from like if you're gonna go there, like let's go there.
I agree. And there is even kind of impactful drum parts in like towards the end of the song.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think with this genre, the percussion is so integral to the feel that I get from these songs. I absolutely think you hit the nail on the head there. My instinct went to, I could hear like an apocalyptic version of Exile from Folklore.
Wow.
I feel like that would be really impactful.
That's a great
just
pick.
kind of making it, like a heavy metal ballad.
Yeah.
And just,
that's a
really
great one.
going hard with it. Yeah, I think that was a good answer with Who's Afraid of Little Old Me.
I'm so hesitant to even touch Folklore and Evermore because they're such precious.
Well, and they're very pared back albums as well.
Exactly. So it takes a lot of imagination for me to think that. Although my favorite Taylor Swift song is Right Where You Left Me. Yeah. So I'm always going to be curious to hear somebody play with that.
That has some drive to it as well.
Yeah.
That's got the I could hear the chorus done metaled up. So I think that would work as well. I mean, and I think about this because for some reason I was mashing, what was I mashing together? I was mashing Hot to Go and Fat Lip from Sum 41 together.
Okay. Again, as you do.
I could be your one or your new addiction. Fill my head, but I want non-fiction. You know, that's just where my mind goes.
Hot to Go is a great pick. I was gonna go Chapel, but I feel like her stuff is so peppy as it is. Like, I feel like the ones I chose, they really could use some help, like, kind of getting there.
Yeah, so yours is to elevate it rather than...
Yeah, although now that I'm looking at Chapel, I mean, a Good Luck Babe would slap.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, Pink Pony Club already has a guitar solo in it, so...
Yeah.
Something... Oh, I just had a thought, and then there is a metal cover of Oops, I Did It Again.
Oh, that probably is so good.
And it's on the same album as they did a metal cover of Hell's for Children by Pat Benatar, which is a great song. Talk Dirty to Me from Poison. It's a band called Children of Bodom. And BB and BC went to a concert to see Black Label Society at the Electric Factory in Philadelphia. And they thought that Black Label Society was up next, so they went to the, right to the barrier. And they see the Children of Bodom thing come down, and they're like, uh-oh. And the mosh pit started, like, right behind them. They're like, oh, God, hang on.
Hang on for dear life.
So if you're going to a metal concert, for instance, if I dragged you there, where would you want to be in the audience?
Oh my God.
Would you want to be in the pit? Would you want to be farther back? Would you want to be kind of in the eaves of the stage, watching from the side?
So here's the thing. So a funny story about the first concert I ever went to. Brianna and I, our childhood friend, we grew up loving Paramore so much. And when we were freshmen in high school, somebody got us tickets. It must have been her mom. And we went to the show in Montclair, New Jersey. And this was on the Brand New Eyes tour, which was our favorite album. When that came out, I mean, we broke the CD. We played it so much. And so no idea what to expect. We showed up. We're not wearing the right shoes. I think I was wearing ballet flats. We ended up, it was general admission. So we were in the pit. Yeah. And things got, I mean, we were like 14 years old, 15 years old. We got separated. We got tossed around like rag dolls. Yeah. It was crazy. I wish I remembered more from that show. I think I blacked out a little bit. But certainly not. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be there. I'm not stressing. Yeah.
Well, the good thing about the pit is that everybody kind of takes care of each other in the pit. So if like somebody falls, they do a good job of making sure you're out and safe. Yeah. It's in the clear. We're all fan.
We all fan. But also like I wouldn't want to take a spot away from someone who like really is like dying to be down there. Plus, like I mean, we were just talking about stage presence. Like I think I would want to have more of a longer view so that I could see the whole stage. Probably like one of the like lower bowl would be fine. I don't know if there's like a better seat to have. I mean, better than the nosebleeds probably, but like I'm not actually somebody who's like dying to be in on the floor. Okay. I don't think I would be comfortable there. So someplace I could see the stage, but maybe not too far away.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on guitar solos? Now, I know that with Taylor Swift, the bridge is kind of the guitar solo of her music. Yeah. Where it's the kind of, solo spot to really make you think or really kind of feel the crescendo of the song. Well, what do you think of, guitar solos in that place?
Well, like I said earlier, I think it's something that I'm not used to. Even though I took 8 to 10 years of piano, I'm not someone who like is able to necessarily focus on the instrumentals first. Like I don't know if this is just because I grew up a reader and then I was a writer as an English major. I'm just such a lyrics person that for me a guitar solo or any kind of solo, like the first time I listen, I feel like I'm almost missing something. It's like when you watch a movie or read a book, it's like you read it the first time for comprehension, you read it the second time for analysis. I need to hear it maybe twice to kind of really understand what it's trying to tell me. That's why I really like listening to music with you, because I learn so much. And I said this last time, but I still don't feel like I have the terminology to even talk about the musical choices that are being made or the techniques that are being employed. So they're almost like a little tough for me at times to parse. And because it's just such a muscle I'm used to flexing of like lyrical analysis. So when I don't have that and I'm listening to a solo, I'm almost like put on the back foot, because I'm like, oh, like I have to do the work now of like
of interpreting.
Nobody's telling me anything, so
this,
I have to. So it's almost challenging, but I think like the best songs are the ones where they speak for themselves, and I don't have to parse it as much.
Yeah. And I think it's even trickier with solos as compared to bridges, because solos, you can have a situation where it does serve the song really well, and it's kind of the emotional catharsis. Like I think of Don't Stop Me Now, the solo in that, where we don't hear guitar at all in the song until the solo.
Yeah.
And it's sort of that, oh, and then it goes right into the Red Special from Brian May. But there's also solos where it's clearly the person showing off.
Well, and right. And that's kind of where I think sometimes I might possibly get confused, because I'm like, what, like...
It's like, what is this adding other than stroking your ego?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like there are times when somebody will throw in a solo that does not fit the song at all. Like you'll have like a mid-tempo song and they'll just start shredding. Sometimes it works. Like sometimes it's a really good build up to it, and like it fits the mood of it, and it's so emotive as a solo. But then sometimes it's just a situation where this guy's clearly like, I was kept in the reins this whole time in the song.
Yeah.
I need some time to shine.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where you were saying with muscle memory, where you just kind of build up that sniff test of, does this serve the song, does this not serve the song?
Yeah. In that sense, I guess I appreciate it, because it brings music back to just like emotional instinct.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of those where you can tell when it's a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess if I'm confused, maybe it's not a good one.
I think that's a really good point. Music, when it all comes down to it, is trying to get you to feel something.
Yeah.
Right? And if the song, you come to the end of that song, for instance, Rage Against the Machine, if you come to the end of that song and you're feeling pumped up and pissed off at the system, the song has done its job. If you come out of a Taylor Swift song and you're feeling wistful about a past relationship, or you're feeling just hopeful about the future, like the song's done the job. But like if you come out of like a hard rock song and you're like, okay, that was, then that's a failure on the musician's part for making you that. And I think that's why I'm so open to most all genres of music, because I feel like I'm a pretty empathetic person, that I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
And
I'm chuckling because that is the most downplayed.
Yeah. So, songs, I'm able to, I think, tune into what the band or the artist is trying to put across.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels pandering. Sometimes, a regular rock and roll party song, it's like, okay, I've heard this a million times. But like sometimes it feels like, okay, yeah, this guy really does want me to have a good time. He's not trying to sell me something. And like that's when I get into it.
Yeah. That's why I feel like I'm still on that learning curve a bit of like, because it is, all genres are big genres and they're not monoliths, but that's what took me a little bit to kind of get going with understanding this genre and getting introduced to it, of like, okay, like what journey are they taking me on? How am I supposed to feel? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm still learning that, so.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a situation where, just like when we were playing Power Wash Simulator, and it was...
I'm sorry, I did not expect you to say
I know.
that.
For those not in the know, it's a game where you're playing in the first person, and you have a power washer that you're literally washing buildings and vehicles with. But it was a situation where I was really just sucked into this video game, and I wanted you to experience it. And you were so thrown off of it because you had never played a video game in first person.
Yeah.
Whereas I grew up kind of playing Call of Duty with my brother, and it was just second instinct to me. And that kind of was what made me click with music with you, where it's like, oh, you didn't grow up listening to this stuff like I did.
Yeah.
So you have such a different ear for it, and like you're coming at it from such a different place that you're going to have so many cool insights for us that's why I love having you on. Just like having...
I hope that's true. I hope that our conversations are interesting for your listeners.
No, I've heard good things about it, listeners. If you like having Kristine on, definitely send me messages. I love sharing them with her. But I truly do love having you on, and I love talking to you on the podcast and off. Obviously, we talk mostly off the podcast.
Great to talk to you again. I know it's been a month and a half.
Yeah, boy, such a long time. We just kind of stare at each other with.
Yeah, when the mics aren't on, we just save it all for the show. So
yeah, is there any other kind of questions or any like thoughts that you had before we wrap up the episode, Kristine?
I don't think so. I guess just, do you wish that I was into it more, or like what's a band that you really think that I would just click with so much that you wish that I would just play on my own?
See, that's a very tough question, because I like to think that I know your kind of taste in things at this point, having been together for so long,
I would hope so.
Longer than the podcast has been around. And I don't know if there's any band that I could just, wholeheartedly 100% be like, go wild on this, this discography for. Because I know you have a very discerning ear and very discerning taste.
It's a nice way of saying that I'm picky.
Well, I'm picky as well, but I feel like there's some songs that I don't, and for the most part, I feel like I've shared most of the stuff that I think you would really vibe with you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like I shared with you Ghost, for instance.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Because I thought that you would find them really interesting and really different. Mm-hmm. So I think Ghost is probably the biggest answer because they're so out there. I would love to share more Maiden with you.
Okay.
I think you would find the song Dance of Death very interesting, because it has a very folky feel at the beginning, but then there's like orchestral swells in it. Or the song Empire of the Clouds, which tells the story of the R101, which was kind of like the English version of the Hindenburg, that actually made it up into the air before, having an accident. And actually there's an audio drama of the 8th Doctor where he's on the R101.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
fun Doctor Who lore for you. Welcome to the Doctor Who cast. Yeah, I think probably more Maiden I could get you into.
Okay.
But for the most part, I'm just happy that you keep an open mind listening for the podcast and checking it out and seeing if you could find some diamond in the rough of the things that I share with you. So I appreciate you having an open heart and empty stomach, as I say it to you in the words of my uncle.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's always a great time. I love our conversations, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yes, especially since we kind of have an inkling of an idea for the next one.
Yep.
That'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to have to start getting concerts together. If anybody out there has concerts or artists that you think Kristine might find something interesting from, seeing a live song or such from them, send them my way and I'll put them in the docket.
Yeah, we want to talk about theatricality, performativity, character work.
Yeah.
So get those suggestions in, please.
Yes. Rev up those fryers.
Rev up those fryers.
Well, thank you for coming on, Kristine. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to, talk on this little podcast with me and talk about music. I thought you had some good questions that I was more than happy to answer. I love talking.
Yeah, I've done so much talking on the past episodes. I wanted to kind of switch things around here and make you put pressure on you.
Yeah.
So mission accomplished.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we did it, Joe. No, and thank you for answering my questions. I really loved hearing your insight on that. And listeners out there, thank you for listening. If you have any questions that you want me to ask Kristine on or off the podcast, send them my way. If you have any artists that you think that she might be into, knowing her musical taste, we're more than happy to field those for you. And if you're an old listener, welcome back. If you're a new listener, welcome. And we will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.